肩のゴッドキャノンは取り外し手に持つことも可能です。このゴッドボンバーとスーパー人雷が合体して、
Hello everyone, Dan of 14th Prime here. Thanks for stopping by. Today I want to check out with you guys the Takara Transformers Legends 42. This is Godbomber. We're going to check this guy out in this video and also get him combined up with Super Ginrai to form God Ginrai. So I've been looking forward to this guy. He's a big figure actually. Comes in a pretty big box. Just a bit shorter than Ginrai's. You can see he comes in alt mode there in the window. He's got his little Headmaster there in the corner. Over on this side of the box here, we've got a cool artwork of Godbomber there. And on the other side, we get the product shot, and it shows the 3 modes and how the Headmaster can fit in with those different modes. Back of the box here shows the 3 modes. He's got a vehicle mode, a little battle station base mode, and then robot mode. And then, of course, down here, Godbomber plus Super Ginrai equals God Ginrai. All right, so that's the packaging. Let's pop this guy out of the box and check him out. Okay, so here's Godbomber out of the box. He comes packaged in trailer mode, as you saw. So this is what you get out of the box. Now to complete the trailer mode, he comes packaged with a few loose accessories. Godbomber's kind of a parts former. So you get these 2 pieces, which will of course make a sword, but for now we'll want them to be separated. You get like the missile launcher, the tip of the missile, and his helmet. So to get all this together for trailer mode, take the hilt of the sword, peg on the rocket end nice and firm, then insert the rocket end into some slits there. It's basically one here and one up here. Put that together. The sword can stow away underneath here like that, and then the helmet will go face down just like that. That's how you assemble the rocket. So when you're putting this on Godbomber, again, he's a parts former, and particularly in this mode, things just kind of lay together. I find myself trying to make things tighter, and all I do is make it kind of blow up in my hand. So this red thing just sort of rests on some tabs back here, and that's how you put it together. Okay, so this is the trailer basically all together. It's color matched to fit with Super Ginrai. So when you look at these panels down here in particular, they match his trailer. And obviously you see a similar overall color scheme with the blue and red. Front of the trailer here looks pretty cool. You get a nice Autobot logo there on what will be God Ginrai's chest. Other side of the trailer here, basically the same as what we saw on the other side. I've just put the gun all the way down so you can see what that looks like from the profile. In terms of rolling, obviously he's got wheels there. He rolls. I find these front wheels, they kind of get weighed down and are often rubbing against this piece of plastic. So that's just that parts formation piece of it. There's a combiner peg underneath here for the leg, so you can kind of lift that up. It helps. And there we go. We get a little bit better roll, but I find the rolling is just okay. It'll do it, but you don't always see all wheels moving. And then here you've got the back of the trailer. Okay, so in terms of having Ginrai pull him along, he's got this little piece here. This red bit here is just like a little swivel peg. I've already pulled it out. Just twists out from underneath there. You can take a look how that looks like. And that will be the connection point for Ginrai's trailer. So if we bring Ginrai, I think I've been saying Ginrai, it's Ginrai. Okay, but with this trailer, you just kind of go underneath here and just loosen the backside. So just give it a little pull apart. There's actually a bit of a groove or a crevice in here, which is going to be too hard to show you, but that's basically what the trailer hitch will just nestle into. And then you just peg it back around it. And then you've got Ginrai who can pull the trailer. And there you can see that trailer is pretty chunky. Check out how he looks. It's pretty big. I mean, the trailer is basically as big as the Ginrai trailer as well. And bulkier. They're basically doubling up on length and putting a, just a big chunky thing at the end. So it looks cool. Definitely Powermaster, all kinds of guns and weapons and damage that looks like this guy could do. So very cool. And Godbomber here, not to be outdone, because everything's a triple changer in this line. He has a little base mode, so let's kind of put his trailer hitch back in there. Kind of just lift up the front here, fold back these side panels like this. Again, they kind of tab with this blue section. So it unveils a combiner peg. So detach the legs. Actually, let's kind of get the feet a little bit loose here too. So if we just pop the legs out here, again, combiner peg there, just give it a little lift and a slide out. Set this aside for a second. For the combiner peg pieces, fold them up like that towards the red. Get the whole leg section out of the way, basically just make it flat. And you can just kind of get the peg up like that out of the way. Put the flap down like that. Same thing with this guy, so foot forward. Thigh section kind of backing out of the way so it's nice and flat. I just like to wrap that up and around. Panel down. Kind of space those out. Then we're basically just going to lay the base in there. Put the wings down. Like I said, he's floppy. We'll come back to that piece. So the wings come down. There are little pegs here on the inside. Those go in little grooves here. Again, a lot of these things just not the most firmest transformation. I'm actually on the wrong peg over here. I can't see it. There we go. It looks like actually 2 pegs will work there underneath the wings. You get this going. Put this back actually. Drop the chest down. And for the gun piece, all you need to do is just put the head on the other way, basically. Because what you want to do is pop this open like that. You can put your Headmaster in there and then just go ahead and lay that back in its spot. Okay, so this is the base. Again, basically we've just taken the trailer, kind of taken the underside of the trailer, plopped it out here on the side as kind of some pillars, flipped out the chest piece, popped open the gun. That's really about all we've done. But you can see you get some missile bays in here. A lot of playability here. You can put 3 actually Titan Masters in there. It's the one he comes with there, so could set him up there, and again, you see these pegs, that's where their feet go in, so kind of a command bay there. You've got the profile of the base, and again, lots of playability. There's pegs out here on the wings even. You could just stand a Titan Master out here. Bit of a tight peg, but there you go. Here you've got a quick shot of the back of the base. The other side here, same as what we just saw. And then I'm just going to come up on top of it here, because again, big missile gun here. Titan Master will sit right in there and man the big gun. And it can still angle up, you know, if you want to shoot up. Actually, it's not going to hold. In trailer mode, you can push it back far enough, it will hold a high position. Looks like the helmet stops it from doing that in the base mode. So you're pretty much flat or just playing with it yourself. But you've all been there. Okay, so we've seen him in trailer and battle station. Now let's go ahead and put him in the bot mode. Again, he's a parts former, but they give you kind of a sequence that tries to keep him together. I just find he falls apart a lot, particularly his arms. But I'll show you the sequencing they provide, and you know, if he falls apart, he falls apart. And we'll still get there. So first we just kind of untab the back of the feet. Fold down the arms, or the wings, excuse me. Then, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Cannon. They want you to raise the arms up. This is where things just tend to start breaking loose for me. These arms are just really hollow and they always fall off the peg. But there it goes. It's off. For me, it's easier just to take them off and transform it like that, but we'll try to keep going like this. So his hands are in there and you want to flip them out, which I also find difficult and tend to need to open up the arm anyway to do. Then they just want us to send the wings to the back. We're really kind of keeping the arms like this. Then we want to bring out the arm piece like this. Flip up these little side panel flaps here and bring up the whole cab section, which kind of has a folding mechanism to it. Feel it kind of get shorter. There we go. And while you do that, be sure to flip out this panel because that's what's going to hold his head. And settle all that back in there. Then there's like a T-peg, which is important to get that in so you can hold the shoulders together. So peg those in on each side. Then flip the wings straight back. We're just going to flip them back. So now, this is actually the back of the figure, by the way. It can be confusing, but for now, we want to unfold the whole leg section here. And let's go ahead and get his feet situated with the black foot out, the blue back. Again, blue is the back heel, black is the toe. So we start to get something like this. So now I find it easier to actually get his arms situated with how they should be working. And there you go. But wing back, get the shoulder in the right spot. Wing back. Shoulder. So we got his shoulders situated. There's a panel here. Kind of naturally will fold down, but fold that in a little bit. Here you've got the bulk of the figure ready to go. Take the Headmaster. And let's just take a quick look at him before we pop him on there. But see a nice big face. Pretty simple and plain. It's a nice sculpt, but just kind of silver, blue eyes. I think we've definitely seen fancier. But a lot of face there because he's a big figure. Unfold the guy. So here he is in bot mode. Pretty simple, particularly for a Takara Titan Master. Pretty much all blue. He's got some black shins there and then just a red painted visor. So nothing too incredibly fancy about this Titan Master, at least by Takara standards. Again, we fold him up. And again, here we popped out that panel there, which we needed to go ahead and insert this guy. Like that. Then if you remember our cannon, let's pull the helmet off. Just put that over the top of his head. There we go. And of course, finally the gun. You can just peg in back of the shoulder. And I like to kind of rest it on one of these blue shoulder pegs so it gets a little bit of tilt to it. So I mentioned he was a big figure, and here you go. Next to the Takara and Hasbro versions of Prime, they're basically the same height. I wanted to get Hasbro in here because Takara's got those funky feet on Super Ginrai. It makes him a smidge taller, but I mean, he is as tall and actually bulkier through the chest in particular than Ginrai. So this is a big bot. So I'll let you just check him out here, kind of full wide angle. You know, he's a bit plain. He's kind of all blue legs and arms, so red accents there. And then just kind of pretty simple chest as well. So really not near as intricate as Ginrai in terms of the bot mode. There's some nice molding there, but they just didn't do as much with the paint at all. Here's the profile of the figure, and this is where the bot mode starts to not be great. I mean, he wears quite a bit of just kibble in the back from the armor. And the back basically looks like a front of a figure, so it's kind of odd. But here in the profile, generally flat except for those wings flaring off. I didn't mention yet he's got these kind of winged guns on the arms, so those can kind of just so slightly angle out. So you can see how those just a little bit lift off the side of the arm. Then here you have the back of the figure, and it looks like the front of a figure. He's got a chest and Autobot logo on there. All that it's going to be the chest of God Ginrai is his back, basically. Literally, the first time I was transforming this guy, I was just using that as the front. So it's a bit confusing. I wish they could have hid some of that better some way. I'm not loving the back of the figure, But what is nice is you don't see a lot of hollowness. The legs are all kind of full and flush all the way through. You've got the other profile side, which has got the big cannon up on it. I just want to dive in a bit closer. Again, there's not like there's a ton of detail to look at, but I want to get a little bit closer here. You can check out what detail is there. You know, some nice molding. Little blue accent there, Autobot logo. Dark black kind of down the middle of the chest. It's actually more like a gray. But that looks good. The helmet's got a little yellow accent on it. The arms here, which is really the primary complaint in bot mode, just really, really hollow there on the inside. Again, they're super fragile. They love to pop off, and they don't look great either because of the extreme hollowness. But in terms of his articulation up here, I mean, this arm spins around, but the wing just loves to come with it. So you either got to hold the wing or, I mean, it doesn't matter. You can kind of hold the wing and spin the arm. Got a swivel up high there and an elbow joint, which gets him about 90 degrees. And then his head's nothing special. It's just, you know, the Titan Master. You can kind of turn it, get a little bit of kind of up-down movement, but there's not a lot of room in there. His shoulder cannon could kind of spin around a bit. You can't really let it stay up. That's why I like to prop it on the blue thing. You could put it tighter in. It sits further down. I like to give it a little bit of an out angle. Give you a look here at the bottom of the figure. Again, just, I mean, you get like the darker blue and a lighter blue. A little gray for the waist and some red accents kind of in the crotch and in the shins. Again, pretty bland styling and paintwork. So in terms of articulation down here, you get a little bit of kind of outward movement. If you go too far, it pops the whole back section off. So you get some of that. You get some, there goes the head. Like I said, he's loose. Everything's loose. That comes up pretty much 90 degrees. He's got a 90-degree knee. You know, you could take it back like that. The leg doesn't really go back, but that's how the knee bend looks. He's got a swivel there at the knee. This guy just falls apart. That was his rocket launcher falling off. Parts former. And then the foot, you know, it'll move a little bit because it transforms. So you kind of get this bit of ankle pivot, which is nice. And then the toe and the heel as well. So that's pretty good, actually. Then up here for the hand, the wrist will spin. And all these four fingers kind of move on a hinge, and the thumb is on a ball joint. All right, so that's Godbomber's bot mode. From afar, it's impressive. You know, it's impressive size. It's as big as Ginrai. But then when you really start to look at it, it's pretty fragile with all the parts formation, arms falling off, head falls off pretty easily. The gun, obviously, all those things were just falling off as I was handling the figure. And the detail and styling, it's all pretty plain. There's not a lot of extra paintwork in there. Kind of painted like a Hasbro figure, quite frankly. But just not near as intricate. But obviously, number one aspect for this guy would be making him God Ginrai. Probably priority one, which we'll take a look at next. So all things considered, you know, the bot mode's okay. I think anyone that's picking this guy up is really just wanting to put together God Ginrai. So let's do that. Okay, so the first thing we need to do to make God Ginrai is basically disassemble Godbomber and kind of prep the armor parts. So easiest thing to do is just kind of start breaking them down. Let's take the gun off and set that aside. Take the head off and the Headmaster off. Let's pop off the armors. And basically the only thing we need to do is let's just fold up the hand in there nice and tight, tuck the thumb in, and then we'll just kind of flatten that out. So that's all we really need to do for now. The rest will come together when we put it on. So that's ready to go. Then we get to his legs. And again, these are Combiner War peg legs, right? So if you wanted to Frankenstein this guy up, any combiner will actually fit in there. So you can give him any goofy legs you'd like. Set that aside for a second. So to prep the legs, pretty simple. This will become the foot. So we just kind of do that for now. Fold it up like this. Wheels do go up. The blue part becomes God Ginrai's foot. That's all we need to do. So prepping the chest armor can be a bit tricky because things just rotate all over the place. Basically, if we turn him around, this will be the front of God Ginrai. Just kind of break these shoulder tab areas there. Then let's come back around over here. Kind of just pull out the cab. Just extend that fully. And then let's split the Godbomber chest side. And then rotate that out. So it's going to be like the side of a piece of armor. So we've got this right now. And then this is the tricky part, is getting the arms rotated in. So what you want to do is just fold in the arm piece like that. You saw that I'm basically kind of just collapsing the red piece back onto the red piece. Just folding that all straight back. Then we want to spin the shoulder. Twist that down and twist that in again. So put this peg in. Twist this, I guess, shoulder bicep swivel so you can rotate it inward so that this piece will bend down. And then there's a tiny peg there, which won't stay pegged for you, but that's basically how you prep up this piece. And you're really going to tighten it up once you get it on the figure. But we've kind of got this for now. This then needs to just rotate down. Just rotate that on down. Again, it's come undone already. Okay, so let's get the wings forward and then out. So put them kind of back over and out. So they're kind of sitting in between. See that? And then just put the legs up like this. And that is the backpack prep. Okay, so then here we bring in Super Ginrai. Let's lose the cannons here off the shoulders. Start with something easy here. So I grabbed a foot, prep that. For the bottom of Ginrai, you just fold up the red heel spur piece. And he's basically, this red piece is just going to fill into this gray hole. Trying to make that nice and focused for you. And then this kind of clamps over the side as well. But all in all, pretty simple. You're just going to kind of smash this together. Then this blue combiner leg peg, we'll just tuck that up there and hide that away back at the leg. Come to the other side. Let's tuck up the heel spur again. Grab our other foot. And then the red will go right into the gray hole. Snaps pretty well. I think the feet are okay. These, I think everything is kind of a little loose and panely, and I don't love all the connections. The feet are actually pretty good. But there we just made the dude like 3 inches taller. So next, let's go ahead and put the backpack on. Because I think the arms are probably the worst of the fidgety falling off pieces. So the backpack, it's just going to kind of slide over the top. It's not too complicated. Your number one friend, I think, is these blue pegs on the back. And these red sections just tab right over them. So I kind of like to start there. There are other places it'll stick. Oops, you know what I didn't do? Let's fold this out of the way. Forgot to do that. Obviously, we don't need that head base anymore. Okay, so we got that flipped the right way. And again, I'm just going for these back blue pegs first. Okay, so those are pegged in. Then if we just come around back here, most likely things got loose, and they did. Not a big deal. Let's just kind of fix this little peg back here. Then here, just trying to get high enough so you can see, but we've got in those back pegs. We're just going to kind of wrap it down. Things kind of click into place. wrap it around the chest. You'll get a nice click in the front, so that's good. And all of that comes together. So that comes on pretty sturdy, I think. So if we come over to the arms next, which I think are the most fragile pieces, we want to extend the arm. We've got this going. We take the armor. Again, we made it all nice and flat. There's a hook piece here in the hand. And you want to get the hand in front of the paneling here. Because if you don't get the hand behind there, you can't really wrap the armor around. And then, you couldn't really see it, but I just wrapped it around the front, and there's the nice hole peg, which is a kind of the tempting place to start, but that's actually a better place to finish to make sure you get the hand where it belongs. And then this folds up over the blue piece. And you can give it a little tilt out if you want. So again, we'll extend down the arm, kind of drop that flap, grab the armor here, and we'll put this hook in here, put the hand in front of the panel. I'll try to come to the front here, see the hole. And this is just going to wrap around. Fold that down, fold that up. And this guy is not wanting to stand. All right, so he's pretty much in full-on don't want to stand mode, so I've got him propped up. Grab the gun. We can disassemble this, so we want to take out the sword. We want to take out the sword handle. And we just put the missile head back in. And we can just drop in the missile. Pegs right into the shoulder. So then here in terms of Ginrai's guns, see these kind of pegs in the back. Ginrai's gun has a hole right there. So we're just going to peg those in. And it's a tight peg, which of course loosens up the backpack. And we'll need to fix it again. On the back of the figure here, there's even a place to store Godbomber's helmet or head. It's just kind of some pegs there. It's not secure. It would come off. But at least they're trying to kind of keep it all contained. There we go. And then finally for the sword, pretty simple, just kind of hooks in, pegs in like that, and just drops right in his hand. A little loose. And let's not forget Ginrai's kind of cannons. Those will just peg right on the side of the feet. So there he is. Super Ginrai in all his glory. He's a big, monstrous dude. He's big. I just find it really kind of fragile and clunky, and things are falling off, and he doesn't stand well. He's kind of back heavy. So the playability, I think, is disappointing, quite frankly, because I always feel like the arm piece is falling off, or even if you grab him by the torso, chest piece might pop up. You know, things just don't tab and stick together well. Even the sword, you know, tend to fall apart pretty easy. So it looks really cool. Cool that they could pull it off, but definitely the finished product, you know, in terms of functionality, I think is not perfect, to say the least. So here, just to give you a sense of that final size and scale, I've got him next to the Powermaster Optimus Prime. You know, he's like 50% taller. I mean, he's a whole half figure taller than this guy. His waist basically comes right up to his shoulders, so he's a huge, huge figure. Just that, yeah, maybe he's too big, or he's just got some stability issues. He's leaning right now because I can't get him to stand. I'll let you check him out here. Profile here, and again, there's that helmet, fell right off. I'm kind of holding him up. Let you get a peek at the profile. Back of the figure here. And what becomes really fragile is where his feet are, which had great articulation when he was just Super Ginrai. It's kind of nice, like ankle tilt. becomes actually a very loose joint to try to support all the weight above it. Side profile here, and again, there's just no getting away from this ankle issue here. That's where the weight just wants to kind of tip it over, so even when you try to manage the thigh joints placement, the issue still comes into play down here. So this is how I've been able to get him to stand. You don't get to see the full height of the figure because you got to go pretty wide, and you got to, where the ankle tilt is, you got to use that ankle tilt, basically break it, and then just make the feet come down flat from there. So it works. You know, just takes some of the presence away from the figure because you got to kind of get him so low to balance. So it's huge, but we'll still go in close so you can take a closer look. Upper body section here, everything looks cool. I mean, that front section that plugs on there looks really, really good. I think the arms look good. Again, they're kind of fragile. The wings are a little high. I think they stick up a bit high. And the guns, I don't know, if I wish they were spaced a little bit wider so that'd be more like on each side of the head. They kind of come right over the top of the head. There's little nits, you know, but some things that could be a little bit better up there. And just kind of going down the figure there. All looks nice. You know, I mean, Godbomber, I said, didn't have the greatest paint apps himself, but then when you bring it together with Ginrai, you get the nice contrast. You know, some of these little accents actually add something to it. This is a nice silver paint actually right there on that front too, so that looks really good. The windows look good. You know, then you mostly get Ginrai's legs, and then just the feet kind of bolted onto the bottom. So there you have it, guys. Takara Tomies Legends 35, Super Ginrai, Legends 42, Godbomber, combined to form God Ginrai or Super God Ginrai, whatever it is. I was happy to check it out. You know, not an easy thing to do. I think it looks really nice once you get it together and just sort of leave it alone. But again, I think playability here is really just not good, quite frankly. Even when I think back of other combiners, five-piece combiners, things like that, they play better and hold together better than this guy with the whole armor setup. Because so much of it is just kind of little peg here, little tab there, and it's just not the sturdiest. So really impressive. Put them together, drop them on a shelf. I think you'd be happy with it. But in terms of picking this guy up, sort of taking him apart, transforming him, putting him back together, playing with him a little bit, I don't see that as that enjoyable. So really up to your collecting style. All right, guys, hope you liked the video. Thanks for stopping by and checking in. Again, I always put links in the description. Try to point you to some decent places to buy these guys. So appreciate any time you use those links. Hope you liked the video. I'll see you next time.